I envision all the colleges, not just ours, but all the colleges so dedicated to the principles and the premise and foundations of chiropractic that they're graduating people who are so enthusiastic about life, that
Hmm.
their enthusiasm becomes so contagious that everybody wants some of that.
Hello, and welcome to Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. This podcast is dedicated to chiropractors who are in the seasons of launching and building their practice. Join myself, Dr. Lona, and my co-host, Dr. Bobby, as we have conversations each week as it relates to building the practice of your dreams. And remember, you can have a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. We're here to lead you on the way. All right, welcome back to the Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. And I am here with a very important man who is also very handsome. We made sure to note how handsome he is. In chiropractic, he's leading the way at Sherman College, the president of Sherman College, Dr. Jack Bourla, who has moved from California over to the East Coast now. Welcome to the show. Tell us what you're doing down at Sherman. And I know you were also with us in person at TRP's last immersion. So yeah, give us some
Thanks.
juice, Dr. Jack.
Thanks, Lona. Yeah, I was at TRP, and what a remarkable weekend that was.
Thank you.
I've been to a few of them, and I have never left disappointed. So anyone who's not familiar with TRP, first of all, what rock are you hiding under? And then secondly, get involved. Get involved in chiropractic. You know, I get to travel quite a bit, and I get to see different events, and I am so blessed that for some reason my senior executive assistant only picks great places for me to go.
That's
So
awesome.
she tells me where to go and when to go and what to say, and I just, put on my suit and there I am. So it's great.
And you add to the event. You presented on stage for us at TRP for a few minutes. And I
I
thought
did.
what you had to say and the story you shared, it was like an adjustment to the room of just getting back into our hearts.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't know what I was going to say. Stephen Franson was gracious enough to give three of us, each representing a different college, an opportunity just to address the audience and talk about chiropractic education and what it's like. And without having anything prepared, you got to go with what your heart says. And so I was able to do that and teared up a little bit. Sorry about that. But that's just, there's two kinds of people in the world. There's the wet people and the dry people. I happen to be one of the wet people.
Good.
But it was great to be with you all. The energy in that room, the sense of purpose in that room, and the sense of dedication in that room is something that you don't always see. You want to, but you don't always see it. And that mirrors what we try to do here at Sherman. Not that we try to do, it's what we do.
Mhm.
This college is unique in that, yes, we have, as I said at TRP, we have the same curriculum about as other colleges. We have the same accreditation standards as everybody, but what we have here is a culture that I believe we have able to establish and promote. And I think that's why people like coming here. Yes, they're going to get the education. You get that almost anywhere. You can almost get it online. But when you come here and you feel this certain energy, and no one can really describe it other than say it feels different. And it
Mhm.
does. There's a buzz, there's a hum, there's an energy, there's a camaraderie. And are we perfect? No, we're not. Well, we are, but we're not
I would
perfect.
agree with you. When being on
Yeah.
campus a couple times in the last year and a half, first of all, your students are beautiful, like just
Yeah.
great people. They've helped out at a lot of our TRP events. They're truly amazing. Their love of chiropractic and their understanding of chiropractic at such a young stage in their careers is
Yeah.
not a surprise coming from Sherman, but also something really special. And I think if I was going to give it a word, it is a reverence for what we do.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Yeah. And
I,
that has started, it started before the campus was even in place. But Tom and Betty Gilardi had a dream, and the dream has been manifested. And here we are today, 52 years later,
it's amazing.
enjoying their vision, their dream, and their hope for humanity. And that's what really drives us is this hope for humanity that we in chiropractic have. I wish everybody shared that. Doesn't make them wrong, doesn't make us right. It just makes us different. And
Hmm.
we enjoy the difference, but we'd love to raise everybody else to the same level.
Yes.
There isn't a chiropractic college that we want to see go away. On the contrary, we'd like to see more chiropractic colleges. We want to see more chiropractors who actually understand what our role is. And
Yes.
once people grasp that and they own that, and then they can perpetuate, that's when we see referrals come to the college. We see young minds that want to have some of what you and I and other people have, and that is this great hope for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you can get that vision, if you can get that picture, boy, what a great day it is to wake up.
Yes.
So
You're
I
right.
would
It's a
like that to be
huge
continued.
paradigm shift. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Mhm.
And it's there for us. The question is, do we want to grasp it and ride that wave in or not? And there's no judgment. It just is what it is. We all have this ability to choose. And the consequences of our choices will lead us to either doing more of or less of
Yeah.
whatever it is that we've been doing.
That was good. I think whoever's listening, just go back and re-listen to what he just said of like that awareness that it's, do I wake up feeling that sense of purpose? And do I wake up thinking about the potential and how humanity can be and is? Or am
Sure.
I focused on what's wrong? And I think professionally, we've got to do that. Like, it's to me, we're at a pivot point where we need to go on the offense, not the
Hmm.
defense. And part of
Yes.
going on the offense is embracing the like beautiful part of like you can listen to your body. You actually are divinely made with this like intelligence running through your system, and like that gets exciting, which is why you get excited to get up in the morning and tell more people about it and do this thing called chiropractic.
Right. Imagine if one day Lona Cook woke up and said, it's just another day, and
Mhm,
doesn't make that phone call, that introduction to the schools,
mhm.
because your desire is to help these kids. What if you didn't do that? What if you weren't excited? Well, then we wouldn't have this whole possibility that you're
Right.
creating. And I see the brilliance in the people that we have surrounding us. Uh,
Mhm,
on this, I can speak about this campus because I'm here. But
mhm,
as I look at the faculty and the staff and the administration and the students who come together with this common vision and a common mission, and when they embrace that, when they truly choose to take that and ingrain it within their DNA, they're
mhm.
going to leave here a better version of themselves. And in so doing, they can serve their capacity and their community in such a way that had they not had this experience, they wouldn't be able to do that.
Mhm.
I wake up in the morning and I have my coffee, but I open our blinds and I can see the campus. And I get so excited when I see the students driving onto campus when the cars start to fill the parking lot, because I know that one of those people, one of them, or maybe more, could become the next Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King of
Mhm.
this world. And what if they did that through the capacity as a chiropractor?
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be something great? And so I look for that greatness in everybody. Never disappointed, because even somebody who has the greatest intentions, even if they don't do great that day, they have tomorrow.
Yep.
So for me, that's why I wake up excited every morning. It kind of gets on my wife's nerves because she's still laying in bed, and I get up and I'm excited to do what I need to do, and more importantly, to do what I want to do.
Yeah. That's a great way
It's
to
really
live.
great. What a
Mhm.
blessing, you know? I wake up every morning pinching myself. I'm full of bruises. At my age, you bruise easily. The wind blows and I bruise, but I pinch myself and I've got bruises all over my arms because I ask myself this: why me? Not in a woe is me, but why me? Why did I get selected to do this?
Why am I in
What
this
about
position of influence?
yeah, it's an amazing, amazing blessing and gift that I've been given.
Well, we're so glad that you chose to take it.
Thanks.
Yes, I was reflecting too of like, okay, we've met some of the Sherman students through TRP and
Yeah.
just been floored by that. And if I, now have you here on this podcast, tell us like some of the cool things that you guys are doing since you took over presidency. Offline, we were just chatting about one of the professors you just brought in or one of the doctors you brought in. So
Yeah.
tell us like some of the unique things that are happening on your campus right now.
Yeah, one of the biggest changes we have is it has to do with the president. I actually wear socks every day.
You
Dr.
wear socks
Cordero,
every day.
yeah, Dr. Cordero didn't wear socks. And he's a dear friend of mine who I absolutely adore. What we've done is, we decided that we really want to advocate for the purity of chiropractic. And so we do that. That's been part of our heritage for a long time. But within that, we've decided we want to become specialists in something within the chiropractic realm. And so we have a couple of specialties. We have upper cervical,
Mhm.
and we have two of our professors, Dr. Jamie Browning and Dr. Christine Theodosis, who are just monster experts in the upper cervical, both the analysis and the technique and the communication. So we're focusing on that. We have specialized equipment. We were the first college to have a cone beam CT scanner on campus. My dream is to one day either have fluoroscopy or a functional MRI on campus. So if any of the viewers have a few $100 million, I wouldn't mind a percent of that. That'd be awesome.
Right.
Um, we also have a sports chiropractic program, not in sports chiropractic, other than that's the population that we're addressing, but we still maintain the location, the analysis, and the correction of vertebral subluxation is the reason for us being there. We work with their trainers. So we're servicing two of the colleges in this small little community that we live in, this county of Spartanburg. There are 7 colleges and universities and 14 or so high schools. And so we're reaching out to them to provide chiropractic care, not only for the benefit of the athletes in terms of their
Mhm.
performance, but also as a potential career for them. So we want to expose them to that. So sports chiropractic is another
Right.
one of our specialties. And now we have Dr. Jay Comerick. Dr. Jay Comerick is considered by many one of the leading authorities in animal chiropractic. And so he's on faculty now. He's one of our faculty members. He's developing the program. We're starting with an elective, and then we'll go into a full curriculum. So we're going to have animal chiropractic. And then another thing that we do is typically called pediatrics and perinatal care. And I want to steer away from that because the connotation says, and there's nothing wrong with medicine. I don't bash medicine. Medicine is highly, highly an important part of our options. I use it for crisis care, and I'm grateful that they're there. But pediatrics is typically considered more of a medical realm. And so we want to go to family care, which
Mhm.
will include children, and it'll include parents and even grandparents. And so we want generations and generations of people to experience and to use chiropractic care on a regular basis because we believe that anybody who is living absent vertebral subluxations is going to live a better life. They'll be
Mhm.
a better version of themselves, and that's what we promote. So we have 4 basic areas, and then we have general chiropractic, upper cervical, sports, this family care, and animal chiropractic, and we're just excited about all. And the buzz here is, and we have clubs, right? We have so many clubs. We have more clubs. We have students, but we
Yes.
have
Yes.
um, we have clubs which help to emphasize. So we have a TRP club on
Mhm.
campus. And so students resonate towards that. We have a sports chiropractic, we have an animal chiropractic, we have a Christian chiropractic. We have all these different clubs so that people have options. And I think the more they get exposed to these options, the more well-rounded they're going to be when they leave here. And
Yeah.
by the way, I don't ever want them to leave here.
But you do because you want
I
them to go out
do.
and spread chiropractic.
I know graduation ceremonies are so great.
Mm.
But I always get really sad because I'm saying goodbye to
Yeah.
being to see these people every day. We'll still see them because they're gonna come back and those who really want to engage will do that. But when you see them every day
Mhm.
and you know them by name and you know some of their habits and they know you and they'll sometimes come by and drop off a card or a loaf of bread or something. These small gestures mean so much to me,
Mhm.
um, that when they leave, it's like, ah, dang.
Mhm. Well, maybe, that's why you guys just have to throw more parties like you do. Don't you have Lyceum coming up pretty quick?
We do have Lyceum at the end of this month. We have on April 30th, May 1st, and 2nd.
Yeah.
Lyceum people call it homecoming. I think we're the last college to maintain the term Lyceum.
Mhm.
And it's an opportunity for not just Sherman people, but anybody who
Yes.
wants to spend 3 days with us and just have a great time. Tremendous speakers. Our 3 plenary, these are like our keynote speakers, 2 of whom are not chiropractors. One is a dynamo chiropractor. She'll be speaking on Saturday. But throughout the day, we have sessions that people can attend. We have luncheons, we have dinners, we have parties. I'm going to personally do a solo. I'm going to sing on probably every night. Yeah, I'm going to sing solo that no one can hear me. That's what I'm going to do. But no, we just have to, that's so silly. I
That's
hope we
good. I
can
never
edit
heard
that
that.
out. It's a time for us to get together. This particular year, we're celebrating the first class that graduated 50 years ago,
That's
which
cool.
is remarkable, totally
Yeah.
remarkable. So we have a number of those people who are going to be coming here. We're going to have a special treat for them. Betty Gilardi, who is the co-founder and Tom's wife, will be here. And anytime she's her energy is contagious.
Mm,
She's 93, but she runs circle around all of us.
that's
So
amazing.
she'll be here. Yeah, and I tell people, if you can, just walk by here and breathe in some of her DNA. Just it'll be better for you. It's a serious thing. It's a party thing. We encourage anybody who wants to come, and we'll take really good care of you while you're
Mm,
here.
mm. Well, thank you for being a campus that is, like you said, like the last one that's calling it Lyceum, right? And
Yeah,
preserving so much of the integrity of our profession. And if you look out, let's just say you're casting your vision that you're hitting your feet are hitting the floor in the morning and you're excited about, like,
yeah,
where do you believe chiropractic is headed in this next iteration of growth from your students leaving their nest? And
yeah.
yeah, what do you want to see happen?
I'd like to see our students so dedicated to the principles of chiropractic and to the purpose of chiropractic that their enthusiasm would become so contagious that everybody they touch wants some of what they have.
Mm,
And we are so underserving right now.
mhm.
I think it was you who said if every chiropractor that's licensed today would see 1,100 people a week, we might be able to approach the 8.3 billion people on this planet. And I know we're not going to get 8.3, but we can
Right.
dream. But we can dream. I have the pleasure of working with Dr. Christopher Kent, who is considered by many the smartest man in chiropractic.
Mm,
He's also one of the funniest men in chiropractic.
mhm.
But we talk almost every day. And we talk about what would life look like if 8.3 billion people were under regular chiropractic care, having their nerve systems checked and adjusted when necessary. It's possible that we could reach what is called BJ's Utopia, described in Article 399 of Stevenson's textbook. But what would the world look like? Would the jails be emptied? Would the hospitals be emptied? Would there
Mm,
be more civility, more love, more kindness in this world? We believe that to be true. I would love to look out and project that the majority of people will accept chiropractic care as part of their normal everyday lives
mhm.
and who look forward to going to their chiropractor to be checked and adjusted when necessary. I
Yes.
I was in practice, Lona, for 25 years in California, and it was a blast every single day.
Mhm.
Every day was because I was able to serve the people that I had attracted. And I
Right,
know you and I might be office side by side and you'll have a different clientele than I will.
right.
And that's great because now we're reaching the masses by doing that. If we
Mhm.
all are the same, then what good is that? Yes, we should all be masters at our craft for sure.
Right.
And that takes years. By the way, you don't get that when you get your diploma, much to the chagrin of people who think that's the case.
Mhm.
It takes years and years and years of practice, and that's why the cliches they call it a practice. But
Right.
I envision all the colleges, not just ours, but all the colleges so dedicated to the principles and the premise and foundations of chiropractic that they're graduating people who are so enthusiastic about life that
Mm.
their enthusiasm becomes so contagious that everybody wants some of that.
I love that. I also wonder if from this expansion of the energetics that people who, to your point, like leave the college, they have this passion for chiropractic, they build these practices that are ripples in their community and in a major way, right?
Yeah,
And we are at a time and a place where I believe there is more of an awakening of people wanting what I would consider principled chiropractic and our philosophy than ever, right? They're
yeah,
already having some of these conversations that maybe they don't have the terminology that chiropractic uses, but they're having conversations that would align them with this style of practice. It's almost like I think the public is more ready for it than professionally we may have be at this time. But I also believe those of us who can continue to serve and expand and invite more in, it's like maybe the public is part of how we turn the profession more into what we would like to see continue to happen
yeah.
when you say you want all schools to propagate. And it would
Sure.
be lovely if they propagated chiropractic, right?
Yeah. We hear about supply and demand, and
Mhm.
principle 33 for us is the demand and supply. What if the demand was so great
Right.
that we had to produce more suppliers?
Yes.
And I think one of the ways that happens is not through the ripple, but through tidal waves. We need
Yes. Yes.
we need to create
Tsunamis.
tidal waves.
Yeah.
And some people are gonna listen and say, "Oh, that's so airy-fairy and hoity, all that stuff." It's not. It's a reality that we can create should we choose to do so.
I
Ask people back in the '60s if they thought that this conscious change is gonna happen or the counterculture revolution. Some would say no, but many said yes, and we were able to change our mindsets back then. I
Mhm.
would like to have a change in mindset now where that Chiropractic isn't something that you have to go to. It's something that you want to go to because you know that you will be a better version of yourself.
Yes.
And who doesn't want that? Especially
Right.
for our kids.
Right.
I want my kids to be the absolute best version of themselves. And so I will provide them with those things that I can so
Mhm.
that they have this ability to express themselves fully. And how do you do that if your nervous system is all messed up? Well, you really can't.
Mhm.
I'm dreaming. I hope others dream too.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And I
Thanks. I
think
know you are.
that's what it takes, right? Is we are here having this conversation because of a crazy dreamer, somebody who was
Yeah.
counterculture, right? So,
Yeah. Totally.
yeah.
I have this video that I love to play. And it's this guy who talks about legends. He talks about the Wright brothers.
Mm-mm.
Um, and I play it a lot, and I don't care because I love it so much. And if you've seen it more than once, that's better for you. But he talks about, what if people didn't dream? If they didn't dream, we wouldn't have airplanes right now. If they didn't dream, we wouldn't have, these right now. Oh,
Right.
by the way, look, it says Sherman College. Uh, so, let's dream. Let's dream, and let's dream really big. Because a small dream that's a blip on a gnat's behind. We don't need that. We want big dreams, we want big dreamers, and then we'll want big doers. Because a dream that hasn't been done is just another dream.
Pray and move your feet, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Keep moving.
Right. So good. All right. So here we are wrapping this podcast up. How can
No, let's not.
yeah, how can we help you? Obviously, I'm sure you'll take our checks. You said if several $1 million or $10 million or whatever you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah.
And students equally as
Yes.
awesome, right?
Yes. Yes.
Anything else? Send them your way.
People are all saying, "Oh, you want your money," and money's good. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
try to live without it and see how that works for you. So money is good, just don't let it be your full purpose. But yes, we would love your checks. Yes, we would love your commitment, and we really want your students.
Mm-hmm.
We really want the students, and the reason we want the students because if we don't keep building this profession, it will dwindle. If you look at higher education in general, there's a decline in enrollment. We don't want that, and
Right.
and we don't not only would not want it, but we don't buy into it. What we think is that what's another approach that you have to take to get the students here, and so we love when people send us their students for campus visits
Mm-hmm.
because they get to come here and feel this incredible vibe that we have here. And when we have prospective students, I tell them if you come to this college, you're committing 3.5 years of your life and a lot of money and a tremendous amount of time and energy. I said, this has to be the right place for you. So I asked them if they've not visited other colleges, they should.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tell them, if you decide to go somewhere else for your education, we're still going to love you. It's just not as much. It's not as much. But we want to, we want to build all the schools up. Yes, we
Yeah.
would like them to come here. Of course, we want to, because we have, I don't have to use the word control, but at least we can control the environment. We control the education. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, we'd like them to come here because we believe that we have aligned ourselves as closely as possible with
Yes.
what BJ had admonished to do, and that was to keep chiropractic pure, unmixed, unsullied.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that every day. That's our check. If we slip, we check, and nobody's perfect. But we'd like to be as close to that as possible, and
Mm-hmm.
we'd like to be impeccable with our words, impeccable with our actions, and be impeccable with the alignment with chiropractic. I think we do that well. If you come visit us, you'll see for yourself. So come to Lyceum.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Awesome. Thank you for all you're doing, not only at the student level, but for the profession at large and our future.
Oh, you're welcome. You know what? We are so blessed, aren't we?
Yes, we really are.
Every day, every day. Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate this.
Yes, no problem. We'll have to have you back. And you'll probably be at one of our next immersions, I imagine.
You bet I will. I love that place.
Awesome. Thanks, Dr. Jack.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Woo! Hey everyone, please listen in for this next bonus interview of one of our remarkable success partners. They all help us help more people find the benefits of chiropractic. So listen on. All right, you guys, I am here today with one of our amazing success partners. One of them that's been with us probably since the very beginning.
Beginning.
Yeah,
Yep, the very beginning.
thank you.
And your beginning too, in your practice as well. That
100%.
just makes me old. That's what it
I know.
makes.
16 years with ClinicMind Genesis. So yeah, we're going strong. So welcome, Dr. Brian Capra, president of
Thank
ClinicMind. we're going to dive right in. So,
Let's do
first
it.
things first, tell us a little bit about what ClinicMind's been up to and the problems that you're solving currently for chiropractors who are looking for better EHR.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. As always, great to see you.
You-
You know, it's been a great journey watching TRP grow and growing with TRP. So, long relationship and fruitful and a lot of enjoyment too as well. So, your question was, what do we do for
For
the
the
custom?
chiropractors, and how are you helping us solve problems specifically that are going to be addressed by our EHR systems or switching to a better EHR system?
Yeah. Well, you know, EHR is just one cog in the machine, right? So it's not about EHR anymore. I mean, it used to be practice management software, then it was EHR, then it was, then you had a whole bunch of disparate tools and systems trying to run your practice. And where we are today is that for any season that you might be in, whether it's launching your practice or scaling or growing or exiting, it's one platform that gives you every tool you possibly need from the first day you start. And that just wasn't possible even just a few years ago. So what we've done now is built it all on one platform. So you have everything you could think of from attraction, conversion, retention, right? All the
Yep.
TRP lexicon, if you would. So you can manage your website, you can manage your ad spend, you can manage your advertising, you can leverage AI tools to help you write content, create posts, schedule your posts, all that attraction stuff, all your funnels and landing pages and all that stuff, but integrated with your practice and the management of your patient's experience inside the practice.
Mhm.
On top of that, so retaining patients, right? Reminding them of their visits, asking for reviews, reactivating patients, automatically responding to them, staying in communication with them. Of course, the scheduling and the care plans and the payment processing and the
Yes.
documentation and the x-rays and everything you can think of. Now, what used to be in the past is when you wanted all those things, say you were a new practice like you were back in the day, and you
Mhm.
wanted, if all those things existed, you'd have to go out and find a whole bunch of different vendors, buy those things, subscribe typically, pay a monthly fee for each one of them, then have the integration, make sure the integration was set up, get trained on each individual product, and then hopefully somebody on your team knows how all of that works because you're not going to remember it all because you're not using it
Yeah.
every day, right? You're going to remember your
Right.
piece. And God forbid anything ever goes wrong, or God forbid you lose a team member, it happens. They move on. They go to bigger, better things, whatever it might be. And they take with them all the knowledge of how all that stuff works,
Right.
right? There's
Right.
no unified support. There's 15 different logins. Well, what we've done with ClinicMind now is literally one login, you get everything. One training and support system, your new team member can just ask how to use each individual piece, but as one support system. And usually, in the past, you'd have to buy all those and subscribe to all those different things. And what happened over the years, by the way, is we were software as a service when it was a new thing. It was a subscription model. It made a lot of sense at that time where you would pay a subscription because your software would continuously improve. So you're not buying a static license, you're buying a product that evolves over time, like you've seen we have.
Mhm.
That made sense, but people figured out, small companies figured out how to build small little components of something that was important for a practice, like a dashboard or reminders or something like that, and
Yep.
make a whole nother company out of that with a whole nother $300 a month. Right. And so that had a lot to do with private equity and valuations and exits and all that stuff, and not a lot to do with the doctor and getting a return on your investment. So we've changed and like we were pioneers in the SaaS world. We
Mhm.
we are now pioneers in a different world, which is called practice growth as a service, right? It's a platform that literally from the first day you open your practice, you get every single tool and you pay as you grow.
Okay.
So you start at a low fee, like $97 a month. You pay $2 per visit, 97 is the minimum, and you never pay more than $950 a month. So even at the largest practice, you're paying $950 per month, which is way less than
Mhm.
you would be paying for ClinicMind, for the review platforms, the dashboard platforms, and the payment processing platform and your billing
Yeah.
service and all that. So we've really kind of taken the next step and introduced practice growth as a service and a full platform that can take a practice from day one all the way through exit. And an exit is super important that you have everything on one platform.
Yeah.
Investors are looking for operational control and simplicity. They want to just be able to buy one thing and not have to deal with 15 different vendors and all that stuff. So
Makes sense.
that's
Yeah.
what we're doing in a
No,
nutshell.
that's huge. Earlier today, I was having a conversation with my COO, my office manager, who has been on the phone and on Zoom with your teams, uh, looking at, because we are that practice that had found a lot of different pieces that could be integrated in, and now are planning and preparing for how do we move into more of what you guys have built, knowing that that is the mode we want to move into. But there's a lot happening in the midst of a busy practice and trying to figure out how we will make
Mhm.
that
Yep.
shift happen.
Yep. Transition. The upside is huge though, especially with some of the things we're talking about doing together. It's when we're able to build one platform that's already done, right?
Mhm.
Literally done, as opposed to having to, you want to replicate a very specific process.
Yeah.
So being able to literally just cut and paste once you have everything set up with just ClinicMind, it's just done, right? Not okay. You have to same thing. You have to contact these 15 vendors to get things set up the way I do them. Is a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been exciting. It's been, as you know, a lot of growth and trial and error and implementation. But once you get there, it's just runs like a machine. You can literally do anything you could think of on the platform now. So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay. So follow-up question to that, because I think
Yeah.
you are ahead of all of us pretty much in knowing what is possible with some of the tools that are now being rolled out, and what will be possible for a office to have access to something like this and not have to have five different things plugged in together and this chaos. Even though it hopefully has made the office more leveraged, it also, to your point, is like if somebody leaves, not everyone knows how it's all plugged in together
Yeah.
and how it's working. So when you look out to the profession at large and what is possible with AI and with some of these things that were being offered now through ClinicMind, like what do you see? What do you think the office in the future, even just a year or two in the future, has access to that we're currently like just dipping our toe into?
So I think there's a lot. I think that's going to happen.
Mhm.
One thing is, like you said, the cloud, when we started 20 years ago, that was a new thing.
Yeah.
We were pioneers in the cloud. We have a whole bunch of practice management, whatever softwares trying to get into the cloud today, not realizing how difficult that was even back then. Like it was a detractor back then because people were afraid of the internet. Now it's
Mhm.
expected. So just like that, people are
So
going to
what you're
expect.
saying is we should trust you because you've demonstrated you're ahead of the curve by quite a bit.
We've always been ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
We're pioneering. So where we're going now, you should pay attention. This is what's going to happen. So first of all, what that does for us, as you know, with data and research, we're contributing to a huge data lake because we're in the cloud and we have outcomes data. That data will be used to revolutionize the way research is published. The speed and efficacy of how research is actually created now is going to increase the light speed now. It's going to be much better, and it levels the playing field for chiropractic.
Yeah. I
Um,
love that.
right, we don't have big pharma that we don't have that kind of that kind of money, the
Mhm.
investment. Not yet. I think that's a really important thing for chiropractic that we attract investors,
Mhm.
PE money in the right way. But uh, the cloud and the data lake, that's going to be huge. But just on the practice level for the individual practitioner, whether it's one practice or multiple sites or whatever, AI is doing simple things, for example, like confirming your appointments,
Mhm.
but calling your patient and confirming the appointment with an AI voice. And if they can't make it, rescheduling them, the whole thing. That's a cool little thing. But really the coolest thing I think is coming is AI is actually going to participate in the growth of your practice. AI and automations and just some things. So before, your software made some things you were doing on paper better, maybe a little easier, maybe a little nicer because you could store it differently or whatever. So it made certain things a little bit easier for you. Now it's going to do things you can't do, right? So now it's going to actually grow your practice. It's going to actually reactivate patients, which we're already doing. It's going to generate referrals in your practice. It's already responding to your reviews. It's scheduling new patients actively, either by chat or by voice right now. What's coming next is I see, and I already have some things in the works where it'll actually communicate with your patients and educate your patients, whether that's the TRP Dirty Dozen, or it's specifically about products or services that they specifically need for them, whether it's their demographic, their age, their gender, their where they live in the country, understanding what they need, educating them on it, delivering them that education, and delivering them a way to actually acquire, purchase that product and
Yeah.
and drive revenue into practices. It's going to be, I think that's a game changer. That's actually going to be happening pretty quickly. Within the next year, I can see that starting. And it's an important thing for chiropractic because we have to really drive up the revenue in our practices and start to attract private equity, which can be, there's a lot of misconceptions about. But if we really want to do what we say we want to do in chiropractic, we need a lot more money to flow into the profession.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's going to be a huge part of that. You know, other things like making it super easy for you to add other profit centers in your practice, such as mental health, which chiropractic, I think, started at a mental health hospital, didn't it? Something like
Yeah.
that. It
Yep.
was there early on, right? And
Yes.
then we've totally gotten away from it because we can't control it. We're afraid of what's going to happen to our patients. I totally get that. But there's ways now with telehealth without adding a square foot to your practice and keeping it in control, adding mental health to your practice, mental health services. That's an example. You got telehealth, you got automated screening of patients. You can automatically refer, control who they're referred to, and actually keep them as an employee in your practice. And it drives revenue into your practice. So mental health is a super important thing. It's a growing problem. We can't ignore it. We don't refer typically because we're afraid that our patients are going to wind up drugged up. And I get that. But the thing is, they're going anyway and they're getting drugged up. And we gotta do our best to prevent that. So there's a lot of things that are happening now with technology, and can't even imagine in a year we've seen in just 6
We'll have
months
another
how-
conversation.
Yeah, it'll be totally new possibilities, but
Yeah.
we'll be at the forefront. That's
Yes.
for sure.
I believe that. And I also believe, in our evolution of having multiple practices and then a unique practice in the schools, like you guys have always been able to grow alongside us, help us figure out how to, at the time, use some of the plugins available that we needed for automations and making things possible. And I think that's what I appreciate most is that I do really feel like we're able to keep growing in ways that EHR has never been a constriction point for us. And I know you said you're more than EHR, but in my mind, that's what I've labeled you as, right? And that now that you
Yeah.
can do so much more for us, it's like, okay, now, we get to like jump into this and figure out what else we could be doing that we didn't even realize was possible. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And it's awesome because, in chiropractic and technology companies, they're not typically with what we're talking about, the level of technology, they're not really attracted to chiropractic as a profession.
Sure.
We're lucky enough to have started in chiropractic, and you've met some of my team, have a really amazing team that are super
Yes.
intelligent, that can build these types of things. But typically chiropractic EHRs, air quotes, are not going to go to that extent to build the level of tools that we will, and we are.
Awesome. Okay. So if people want to have a demo, learn more about working with ClinicMind, where should we send them?
Yep, clinicmind.com. If you ever need to have a question, you can always reach out to me, Dr. Brian at clinicmind.com. So clinicmind.com, there's an easy way right on the top of the website. You just click, you pick your time, schedule your demo, and take it from there. Mention TRP.
Yes. And I will follow up with you. You do have an amazing team. So
Thank
that's
you.
awesome. Yes.
Appreciate
All right.
it.
Thanks for your time today and for being
Thank you.
our amazing success partners.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Your Remarkable Practice podcast. Remember, what the world needs now is chiropractic, and what chiropractic needs now is more successful chiropractors. If you like the podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with us personally, please click the links in the show notes to schedule a call.